main channel. My name is Eunice, and today I have a very spontaneous video to do for you. So I have done this video just now, so for those of you who have tuned into my live, welcome back. I have accidentally deleted it, so I am back in this energy to just like revisit this theme again with you. So I want to talk about the reason I'm doing this is because I want to be sharing with you, like from my heart, the themes about authenticity that a lot of us don't get to talk about on like day-to-day basis. The things that actually happen, the things that keep us from being authentic, the things that keep us from being real. And a lot of times, like, being authentic is not just like a step 1, 2, 3 kind of thing. It's never really like that. Being authentic is a very moment to moment kind of thing. And for as long as we're always like having to choose between, do I want to be honest about this? Do I want to tell people how I feel? Do I want to reveal this about myself or about my life? We're always then making that decision between whether or not we are being authentic or true to ourselves. And it shows up in our communication, it shows up in our connection with people, it shows up in our expression, it shows up everywhere. And so the thing we're talking about today, to bring out the first video of our authenticity series, and really want this series to help you find your ground in your own authenticity, so that in every scenario, in every situation, you can find some, kind of situation to guide you and help you decide that there is a way to be the most authentic version of yourself across any circumstance, across any communication, across any conversation, with any kind of relationship. There's a place for you to be really authentic with yourself, or at least a more authentic version than, who you are being right now. And this is going to reward you greatly, because this work has brought me so much benefit and knowledge about myself, and it's just been invaluable. So I hope that this is able to help you. So there is this there's a scenario where, and this happened a lot with me in my life, and this continues to be something that I'm working on, is that sometimes we sometimes we show up to be more confident and more extroverted or more talkative or more engaging or more energetic than we actually are, all to so that we avoid people asking and getting worried about us, all so that people are not concerned about us, so that we can kind of uphold a certain image of us. We kind of, maintain a certain level of okayness, so that people don't think that something's wrong, and, so they're not like asking and checking on us. But what I found is that when I do that, a lot of times I have to hide the part of myself that feels vulnerable, that feels sensitive, that feels tender, that feels like, oh my gosh, I actually just wish that someone could ask about me without freaking out. And I just really want to be held. And I have to put that version of me away, so that I can continue to be this strong, confident character that walks around this world smiling for everyone, being okay for everyone, just so that I can continue to be this version of myself. How uncomfortable is that? Can you imagine? And for those of you who are experiencing this in your life, and you kind of do this and you're like, oh my gosh, Eunice, you're talking about me. I'm so guilty. Like, it's really hard. And it may not be hard in the moment, because, maybe you're so used to doing it. You're so used to showing up that way. You're not even thinking about it. You're not even like having a second thought about, trying to put up a face, but you're so used to it that it just comes naturally. The smile, it just like hangs on your face, the feeling that's like, you just know that feeling so well that all you know how to do is just portray that posture in front of other people. And that's all you know. because it's more scary to it's more scary to open up yourself and be vulnerable and tell people that you're upset, you're sad, you're uncomfortable, you feel defeated, you're depressed, you have ridiculous thoughts in your head, you have scary thoughts in your head, and you don't know what to do. Than to look at other people in the eye and say, it's fine. Don't worry. It's fine. I'm fine. I'm all good. So it is a journey because we can't expect ourselves to all of a sudden be able to, just pour our guts out to someone. We don't want to burden other people with all of the details. But what we want to do is take one step at a time, to open up ourselves one bit at a time, to open our heart one piece at a time. Even if it's the tiniest piece, we want to be able to do that so that we can feel more aligned with ourselves when we bring ourselves into communication. Because for as long as we're not being true to ourselves in a conversation, it takes a part of us away from ourselves. We hide a part of us away from ourselves and other people. We're literally like, this is us. This is how we feel. And we're literally taking that from people and we're saying, you don't need to see that. That's too complicated. That's too heavy. That's too inconvenient. It's too hard to explain. It's not beautiful. It's not the confident version of me. It's not smiley. It's difficult. Let's put that away. It's too hard to see. And so little by little, we stop seeing ourselves. And maybe this is not a gradual thing for you. Maybe you have grown up being this way all your life. Maybe this is a kind of protection mechanism that you have had since when you were little. And I totally understand that. I totally resonate with that. Like, I am here with you because I have been this kind of person since I was younger. I was always a smiley girl, and everybody complimented me for, smiling all the time. Everybody complimented me for being always the uplifting, empowering, the energized, the positive, always the positive person. But you are the one that knows when you go to bed, when you close the door, when you change into your comfortable clothes, when you crawl into bed and you're left alone with your thoughts. You turn off the lights and you're like, that's not me. That's not how I feel. That's not who I want to be. So what do? We start by knowing why we are so afraid. Because if we have built this protection mechanism, we can also dismantle this protection mechanism, knowing what it is that we're afraid of. We're afraid because if I start to open up myself, maybe people will find me inconvenient. Maybe people will think that I'm asking for attention. Maybe people will think that I'm being extra. Maybe people are going to freak out because for once, I don't know how to handle myself. People are going to think that I'm in trouble, right? And what are they going to think of me? And what if they start freaking out because they've never seen me not okay before? I don't know how they're going to respond. And that thought stresses me out because if I see that other people are worried about me, well, maybe I'm going to get even more worried about me, because if it really is a bad situation and I don't have the energy to uphold this image anymore, maybe it's going to confirm that this situation is really, really bad, and it's going to mean that things are really gloomy. Like, things are really bad for me. And so we push that away. Because for as long as we don't have to acknowledge that it's really bad, then maybe it's not really that bad. Maybe I can still manage to brush it under the carpet. Maybe I can still just handle it on my own. Maybe I could just like hide it away from people and I don't have to tell anyone. And in the end of the day, maybe no one would know. But that doesn't feel good. And that is not real. And I know that. And I know I've been living with that version of myself for a very long time. And I don't like that. So what's the alternative? Well, okay. If I start to tell people about how I feel, then they're going to freak out, and then it's going to cause a big drama. I'm going to have to explain to them. I'm going to have to comfort them. And maybe I'm going to have to comfort them, then reassure them that everything's okay again, but that everything's like not really okay. And it just makes me even more stressed because now I have to handle other people's emotions. And I can't handle that. So that feels really overwhelming as well. So what can I do? What I found is that I can start being just a little more authentic, just a little more honest. I can open up myself just a little more. So we don't have to go like all or nothing. We don't have to like hide all of ourselves. We don't have to like, show and tell people that we are okay when we actually aren't. And we don't have to spill all the details and open the entire can of worms and like make people worried and freak out, because maybe they're really not at the place where they can handle it. But at least we can tell them the gist of it. We can tell them kind of the framework of what's actually really happening. We can kind of tell them the content without the details. And that, you got to check with yourself. Does it feel good? Can I do that? Okay. So if I don't tell them the big thing, maybe I can tell them about the small thing or the little thing that I feel safe to open myself up about, but I don't have to tell them every certain thing so that they don't get like super worried about me or they don't get super sad with me or whatever that emotion is that you're afraid that they might feel. But at least I can, experiment and dip my toes in the water and really test the waters and feel a little more safe to open myself just a bit more at a time. I can open myself just a little bit more at a time. I don't have to open up all of myself. I don't have to spill my guts. I don't have to, just expect people to hold all of me. And I can still hold a bit of a boundary in terms of what I reveal, how much I reveal, how much I tell, to what level of depth I tell people, and still be able to be a little more authentic. And if you can do that, that is the goal. And little by little, this is going to require a lot of practice. This is going to require a lot of like just expanding a little out of your comfort zone. When you're stepping out of comfort zone, you don't want to go into a place where you are super uncomfortable and then put yourself in a fight or flight mode and then and then prove to yourself that, what, this is really what I don't like. I'm just going to go back to the old ways of the way that I do things. This is really not for me. You don't want to put yourself in that fight or flight situation. You want to ease into it so that you expand the borders of your comfort zone, so that more and more so you can be more of an authentic version of who you are. Right? You can reveal more of yourself without feeling unsafe, without feeling unstable, without feeling like, something really bad is going to happen either to myself or with another person, and neither of us can handle it. You can feel safe and feel there's a level of stability in the idea of letting other people hold space for you, and that is going to do everyone some good. That is going to do your nervous system some good. Being able to be yourself, being able to accept yourself, being able to accept your situation, being able to accept whatever it is that you're handling in your life, and that's what kind of energies that are moving in your life, and ask other people to hold the space for you without putting on that happy face, without being the all-time positive person, being the person who's like, oh yeah, she's so positive, she's always smiling, When you feel like I can't do this anymore because I'm just not being honest with myself. I know how that feels. I trust you. I can feel and see inside of you because this is how I have felt for a very long time. And until I've learned to ask people to hold that space for me, I felt like there was just a part of me that I could not accept. There was a part of me that I always had to put away. And if you can learn to do that with even just one person, with one detail, with one story, with one emotion, one step at a time, you will feel good that you are being more aligned to yourself than you have ever been. This is the goal. Not all or nothing, right? But you are being more true to yourself in every single moment. And that is what we're doing in the authenticity series. So thank you so much for joining me in this video, you guys, today. This was a super impromptu video. Like, I'm actually just getting ready for bed, but it really hit me that this is a big theme that I wanted to discover with you guys, to walk with you guys and just open up, because this theme has been popping up like all over my life and my clients and everything. And I feel that, when I feel something like this, it usually is something that more people need to hear. So if this resonates with you, if this has like clicked with you and you're like, you're just talking about me, then drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this subject. If this has happened for you in your life, don't be shy. Like, tell us about it so that more of us can know, hey, like, you are not alone. Nobody is alone. The more that we talk about this, the more awareness there is, the more the collective consciousness becomes aware of this, and the more we can move forward together as a community. So thank you so much for joining me in this conversation today. I hope this has really helped you. I love you all, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video.